And so again, stay tuned till the end. And that being said, I'm really excited to officially help kick us off for today's live session with Ghada Hassan, who is an amazing educator, both a Buncee ambassador and an MIE expert based out in Egypt, who has leveraged Buncee as well as Microsoft Teams in so many different capacities. And so I'm excited for her to be able to showcase her awesome ideas, her strategies, and hopefully that will be able to help you take away some awesome ideas to be able to make learning more fun and engaging for your kids. And so with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'd love to welcome Ghada to the floor here. And so Ghada, thank you for taking the time to be able to join us and present with us. I'm really looking forward to having you share your awesomeness during this session. So with that, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Ida. Thank you. Nice to see you after this hard week of work for session, and I'm really happy to presenting the last session in this week. So first of all, I would like to say thank you for your invitation to be presenting among such amazing educators from the US and Malaysia in the Buncee and Microsoft Team Week. And I'm really very excited to be here with you today, presenting my last session. And it's also my pleasure and honor to be part of such a great tech event. So I'm going to share my screen to start. Can you see my screen now?
It's loading.
Okay.
All right, you're good to go.
Yes. To say thank you, Ida, again, and Fairuz, who is the organizer of this week. And I imagine that every one of us has come this week to present his own education. And I think that the integration that's actually happening between apps like, especially and I love that integration that is happening between Microsoft Team and Buncee platform. I really find it very, very impactful and very effective for both teachers and students as well. And that's why I raised this logo, Technology for Good. So from here, I would like to call all teachers to start using technology for the good of their students, for the interest of their students. And I believe as we as teachers living in the 21st century, we have a very big role towards our students. So we want to enable them to be living in such a big a world of using technology. So we have to enable them. We have to prepare them to that world. We have to make them, or we have to help them to acquire that what we call the 4 Cs. So we want all of us as teachers, all of us as educators would like to make our students creative. So we want to help them to acquire such skills like creativity, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, how to use computational thinking skills, and so on. And what we all like to do as teachers all over the world is to create such a class, either a virtual class or a real class, where students actually are eager and they have the ability to use technology and to create their own content, to be responsible for their learning, and to create their own content in a meaningful way, which is very authentic to them. So first of all, before going into my presentation, I would like to present myself. This is me, Ghada Hassan, and I'm an English teacher from Egypt. And I'm really proud to mention my school name. My school name is called Mustafa Kamel Official Language School. It's really a language school, so we teach science and math in English, and I'm an English teacher. My school is very big. It's actually in a district near Cairo, which is an urban place. So I teach secondary stage in particular. So I'm also passionate about using technology in education. I'm a Buncee fan. I'm an MIEE for the last 2 successive years. I'm also ambassador on different platforms. I really love technology and using technology in education. So, and part of my work is to help other teachers, to help other educators to involve technology in education. So part of my work is to help teachers maybe in my school, in my district, and even all over Egypt. So I work with other, groups or a group of teachers or group of trainers who are helping other teachers to use technology in education. So I'm very happy to be here with you, and I'm very proud to represent my country, Egypt, in this great tech event. So my aim is always to change the way of instruction. So, as a passionate about using technology, I always try to hover over different tools of technology, especially trying to do is to help other teachers to engage more in using technology. So my aim is just to put all the members of the educational process in one space, not the teacher in another way and the student in another way. I want to put them in there in one space so they can communicate, they can collaborate together and feel that they are in one community. So the learning process and the teaching process is going very well and very easily and also effectively. So as I told you before, as I am a Buncee fan, I love Buncee Buncee platform, and I think it's a really very good content creation tool platforms. And actually, every time I log in the platform, I'm really taken by that logo, which says to unlock the power of creativity, and that makes me think and reflect. How can we help our teachers to be creative? How can we help them to to use the skills to know that to use the competencies and their abilities to be more digital learners and to use technology more in their learning and to be responsible for their learning. So I think that platform, and we have to say, why is Buncee? Buncee is a very good platform with different tools, with different medias. So it helps our students with different levels, different grades, different backgrounds, different needs to be able to personalize their learning and to have multiple means of representation that truly engage them to engage them to create more. And in terms of visuality and ease, I think the most important thing about Buncee is that the visuality, everything is visual there, even the infographics, the stickers and everything, so that takes the attention of the students when they want to get into the platform and start dealing with it. And since the school looked down, we had to think about our teaching and our students' learning, particularly remotely, and how to make students engage and communicate, how to make them digital learners. So I thought of driving, Buncee bus into my school and try to use and apply all these features, all these abilities, all these endless possibilities, as Ida always says in her presentation, to use these endless possibilities in our remote learning. So this is why Buncee is also a very important platform to use in a remote learning, where teachers can create classes where they can put students and they can interact with them, they can send assignments and so on. So again, as we are still talking about Microsoft Team, and actually we are in the week of Buncee plus Microsoft Team awareness, so we have to talk about Microsoft Team as a very, very big Microsoft tool that all the teachers, I think, all over the world are now depending on in their work, in their remote learning, in their conferences, in their training. Everything is in there in Teams, so you can depend on it. And all of this app like a lifestyle, so I use it every time. So I can go without other, social media, so I can depend now on Teams because it takes all the advantages that are there in other social media networking sites to be there in Microsoft Teams. So if we want to say something about Microsoft Team, we have to say that it's a collaboration app that you can do all whatever you want to do. So what you can do on Microsoft Team, actually, you can do chats even with your friends, with your colleagues, even with your teachers. And also you can do all that conversation. You can reach all your files. You have access to different, drives like Google Drive, Microsoft Drive. So you can put everything in there. So everything is in one space. You don't need to go here and go there and reach your content. No, you have all things in your account on Microsoft Team. So actually, beside that, you can create your meeting schedules in a full calendar. And I'm going to highlight this after a while. Again, with Microsoft Team, you can also, as teachers, give assignments to students. You can, track their progress and how to see how far they are doing and what mistakes they are doing. So you can give them such kind of assignments and grade them as well. Also, you can create like online conferences with teachers to train them, to meet them, like to discuss all issues that you are interested about or so. And also the most important thing is that teachers and students can meet in virtual classes to share content, to meet together. Teachers can give their students also assignments and grades, as I said. And in Egypt, what happens recently this year, that the Ministry of Education has issued what we call the Unified Email for Electronic Services. And this email has been given to all teachers, all students all over the country. So the teachers and students now are in the same domain, so they can use Microsoft Teams very easily and very effectively. Because in the past, we have different domains, and that makes some issues to deal with Microsoft. So if a teacher wants to create just a class or the virtual class, so what he has to do is to add, students there and to add them like guests, so they don't have all the possibilities with Microsoft Teams. But in this year, after issuing this unified, email or unified accounts, so all teachers and all students are in the same domain, so they can interact easily. Teachers can give students assignments. Teachers can share the content. Teachers can give them all the media they can depend on to, to proceed their learning process. So in this slide, I have put some, some tutorials that I have made about Microsoft Teams, and actually, hopefully after the session, I'm going to share my presentation, so it will be beneficial to others to go through them and learn more about Microsoft Teams. Yeah, so again to Buncee. I love Buncee very much, and as I told you before that I am a Buncee fan. So with that creativity tool, which I call the world of Buncee, so students have different choices to express themselves. They have different choices to insert different medias. They can insert text, they can insert shapes, they can insert drawing, whatever they like. So I think that we have to call students, we have to make them more engaging. We have to tell them that Buncee is a really important and interesting, learning platform to use in their learning. So I think that Ida, every time she is presenting about Buncee, I love her presentation because she, she is actually is covering everything about that platform. So what I want to mention here is that I think that all these features are really great because, it satisfies all the teachers' different learning styles. So I think if a student like, for example, to learn by moving, so he can find the drawing option here. He can find the drawing option here is like very interesting for him. So if he draw something freely, if he used the pen to draw something, so he likes to move, so he can learn by moving. So what I want to say in this point is that some students like to learn by seeing. So there are many stickers, there are many infographics that help them to engage in their learning if they are visual learners. And students who like to learn by hearing, who are audio learner, who are auditory learner, like to maybe go to that row. So they can import URL, they can actually record videos, they can actually record audio so they can learn more. So moreover, students don't need to explore the web to find images. So everything is in there. So if they want to put images, they don't need to go like to Bing image or to Google image to put, pictures that express their learning, but everything is in there. So they don't need to leave the platform. And this is the most important thing that I actually like about Buncee. Also, students who like to visit other places. So they can use what we call the virtual trips, and this happens by this tool, 360-degree images. So the teacher or the students can put whatever image he wants to express his learning actually. And I think children can find this very interesting for them to imagine that they are in the place and they can go into this place and see the whole, dimension in the place. Also, and actually I like something here about this creativity tool, or what we call the world of Buncee. I always call it the world of Buncee. That I feel that it is graded from the easiest to the most, the most difficult. I don't know. I don't want to say that they are difficult, but it is graded. So younger students can use text, they can use shapes, that they can use drawing. And also I have to mention here that the Buncee 3D model are really interesting for students and teachers who are uh, interested in STEM education, because there are different groups, there are different classes of 3D models, like things about anatomy, things about geography, things about space, about science. So everything is in there. So the students do not need to leave the platform and go here and there to find what we want to put or insert here. And actually, the most important thing here is just to record the video. So students who like to represent themselves, who like to give that such a personal touch to their work, so they can use the record video, and also they can take photos as well. Also, the most important thing here for teachers, and we as teachers always, after assessing our students and track their progress. So we like to put questions after lessons to assess the students and to know how far they are achieving or so the teacher here has the opportunity to insert frequently or free response questions, and also he can put multiple choice questions which is very great to make assignments for students. So besides this, or above this, Buncee also has different features, like it gives the teachers and the students the opportunity to engage more, so the students can able to leave comments, they can like their work, and also the most important thing is the sharing work. So they can share our work in different ways, and I'm going to say this in a while. And the most important thing is about students that they like to earn badges. So as more as they create Buncee, they can earn badges. So this is very encouraging, and pushing to them to do more and more. And also the most important thing is that you can create your virtual class here in Buncee. So the teacher can create such a class and invite other teachers using a small code, so the students can get inside the class. The teacher can track their progress, they can give them assignments, and also the most important here thing is that the differentiated instruction. So one of the features that the teacher has in creating a class is that he can divide his class in a group according to their levels, according to their achievements, so they can send like special Buncees to them according to their their levels. Oh yeah, so after what we have said about Buncee and Microsoft Team, I think if we put all these options together, we are going to have an amazing thing. So in Buncee, I have a demo in here. So if you want just to schedule a meeting here, so it's really very easy for teachers to schedule a meeting by clicking on that. So I have just make a demo here, a demo video. So what the teacher is really doing here is just to click on that Microsoft Team icon over there. So he clicks on generate, and then he starts creating his meeting. So he just writes the detail of the meetings, and then he state or identify the time, the date, and everything is in there. So he doesn't need to go to Microsoft Team to do such process. He can just do this in Buncee. And he also can send this link to his students as well. He can share this with the students also in a class. So the students, if the students open the class, they are going to have a notification from the teacher that there's a meeting called so and so, and it is in that time. Okay. So the most important and one of the most important features about Buncee and Microsoft Team integration is that icon. So I'm going to show you how you can enable this. So I'm going to go to my dashboard here. And I'm going to show you how you can enable or disable this option to have Microsoft Team meeting in your Buncee account. So this is here. And if you don't have this, icon, you can go to your profile picture and view profile and rewards. And once you click on edit, you can just, if you go down, scroll down, you can just enable this option, team meetings on or off, and then you click on save. This is what you can do here. So this is the first option, the first integration between Microsoft Team and Buncee. On the student's view, what happens to the student here after the teacher sends him the invitation to meet, he has a notification here. So he just clicked on the notification and he found that the teacher has sent him maybe a link to a meeting. So he knows the meeting details, he knows when the meeting is going to happen. And that's all about the meeting option. Yes. So again, about sharing with Buncee, you can share in different ways. As you see here, if we click on share here, what happens is that you have different options of sharing here. And first of all, if you want to make your Buncee viewed by, for example, by anyone, by someone, manage this. And also, you can make your Buncee commentable or copyable as well. With the code, you can take a link, a direct link, which you can use to share your Buncee. And also you can use embed code, which you can put in Sway or Weeklit or other Microsoft Team tools as well. You can share with Buncee users, you can share to boards, you can send your Buncee link by an email, and also the social, which is we are going to talk about in a while. And also the download, you can download your Buncee like in a form of PDF or image, and send it to the students. So if they don't have access to the internet, so it's very easy for them to look at what you have done for them and learn more. So this is the sharing options. So again, if you click on share, you will find a big library of sharing options like on Facebook, on Pinterest, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Google Classroom, and the most important thing that we are after today is Microsoft Team. So if the teacher click on social, so he can share his Buncee on all these social platforms direct from Buncee. And also this is the student's option, so he can share his Buncee into a Microsoft Team or in a Google Classroom. So I'm going to show you what the teacher is really doing when he is sharing his Buncee or his work to students to Microsoft Team. What happens with the teacher is that he click on share like that, as you see. He click on social. And if he choose Microsoft Team, so he has two options here. He can share his Buncee in two different ways. The first way is that he can share it on a channel or on a specific class that he have created on Microsoft Team, or he can share this as an assignment. So what the teacher is going to do in this point is to share his Buncee, like in a channel. So channel that he wants to share is Buncee to, and then he just click on share. I'm going to make full screen so it's clearer for you. And if you want to share his Buncee as an assignment, so he just click on create an assignment, and he assigned to a specific class. He writes a title of his assignment. That's exactly what we do with Microsoft Team. If we want to share or if we want to create an assignment on Microsoft Team class, that's actually what we are doing. We put all details about our, our assignments. You can write here the title, you can write the instructions, and even you can put points, how many grades that the student have to have after doing this assignment. And also you can here put the due date and then assign, and then your assignment has been created. So it's very easy. So actually this integration that happens between Buncee and Microsoft Team is really very, very nice here. So the teacher can do what he can do in any place. So if he is in a Microsoft Team class, so he can do, or he can assign, or he can give the students assignment. If he is in a Buncee platform, he can do the same, process. So everything is in one specific place if he is in Microsoft Team or in a Buncee platform. So in this part of my presentation, I am trying to share my experiences and share some strategies that we are already use in our, in our school after the school lockdown. And after the school lockdown, because of the pandemic, so we have to think how to connect with the students, how to link, how to share with them, how to reach them, even they are in their homes. So what we have started to do actually with Buncee is to design an announcement. And in this part, actually, I was after getting the students to engage them more, to be in there, to feel that they are still in the classes, in the real classes. So what I'm started to do is just to make an announcement with Buncee, and in this assignment, in this announcement. So I invited students and also teachers to start joining our Buncee club. This is what I call. I put a link here. As you see here, I put a link here to our virtual class, and this is the link of our Microsoft class that I have created. So it's very easy for the students to just click on the link and find themselves in a class which is managed by their teacher. So here I would like just to highlight also that Buncee give us as teachers different templates, very splendid, templates, very wonderful, very awesome templates that help us to create what we want. And if you have an idea, if you want to, design a lesson or to design a presentation, if you want to do anything with your students, so you just go to this amazing feature on Buncee, the template. So you can choose whatever template you like, and then you can try to apply what you want to do with Buncee in a creative and an attractive way. This is also the same version of, my announcement or the school announcement, where I put here the school logo, so it's formal for the students. And I called it in Arabic, it's the Club of Creativity in the mid-year holiday. So why don't you, use your time in the holiday, the mid-year holiday as students and as teachers to start creativity on Buncee within Microsoft Team. And I also here written that it's under the supervision of our headmistress. So I invited all the students, all the teachers to join this Buncee Creativity Club to start creativity and start innovation. So if you are going to join here, you are going to have what we call a membership card. So to be one of the creative students, or maybe you will be one of the ambassadors. And this actually what I have really done with a group of my students. that I try to connect them, that I try to start, explaining everything about Buncee in a Microsoft team meeting. So they actually were amazed, but with what Buncee have. So it was really, really great for them. Yes, this is a part of the announcement using one of Buncee templates here, where I put also the logo of the Ministry of Education in Egypt and also the logo of my school. So I try to engage more students. I try to make them work. I try to make them create using Buncee. And this is going to happen within a Microsoft Team class, which is a very safe place to meet as teachers and as students. So this is a part of my work where I have, made a meeting or hold a meeting, of course, and I use this Microsoft Team meeting option in Buncee to create a meeting between me and my students. So in this time, a group of students actually join me, and I have started sharing, and I have started creating. Okay, so I have started sharing everything Buncee, how they can use Buncee to create their own content in a meaningful. So they are responsible for their learning. They are engaging more. They are using their time. They feel that they are creative. They feel that they can do whatever they like, because Buncee actually has different medias, different different ideas, different templates which have been created by such great educators around the world for us to help. So this is part of my experience as well. And in this part of my presentation, I'm going to stop sharing here. So I have to share something else here because I want to share something different here. Okay, so I'm going to share part of my Microsoft Team class where I put everything in here. So what I've already done here is creating a class with different varied channels. For instance, as you see here, this is my class, and I called it Students Activities. So everything I did on Buncee, I have shared it in here. So I have created different channels, as you see, and on the general, on the general channel, I have put also, as you see here, this announcement to help teachers, to help students to join and to invite them to join more. And I've also used, Microsoft Form to gather information about who is going to share, who is going to join my class here. And as you see here, there are some interaction done by teachers and students on what we have shared on Microsoft Team class. Actually, in this, which I called resources for students, I have put everything that the students would need to start using Buncee. And the most important thing, the most interesting thing about Microsoft is that you can customize what you want. So with the tab icon here, I have put here links to Buncee Ideas Lab, so the students can go in there. They don't need to go to the Buncee platform itself to find what the Ideas Lab is. So they can click here and use the Buncee or visit this website. I also have put the Buncee homepage so they can start signing, they can start working on Buncee from here within their class. you know, in a specific place, so they don't need to leave their class. Everything is in here, so I help them to engage more. I help them to manage their time and use whatever they like. And also I have put Buncee tutorials, which I have shared some tutorials done by me about Buncee, so they can listen, they can refer to start working more and more. And I have put Buncee board for blended learning. Actually, it is a board which I put different lessons done by Buncee for students to learn, to follow, and start doing things by themselves, as you see here. So if they want to visit Buncee platform, so everything is in here if they want to do so. In the assignment channel, which I really proud of, my students have really done a great work. So as you see here, they have shared their work. As you see here, there are many examples of my students' work here. And I also used, you know, this how to make an announcement on Microsoft Teams, so the students are attracted by the illustration. So the first announcement was to do their new assignment with Buncee. After that, so they start creating their own Buncee here, and other students, other teachers started to interact with them with likes, with thumbnail and thumbs up, and everything is in here. So I'm really proud of my students have already done. And as a teacher, I want to encourage them more. So after doing their work, I have shared certificates of recognition to say thank you for such a student who has really done a great work. So I want to say that I'm really proud of you. You have done a very amazing work like that. All these works are done by my students, and I'm going to show you that. Okay, and with the students' creation with Buncee, actually I have given them this free space, this free area to doing their own projects using Buncee. So one of my students have already done a project about sustainable development goals, goal number 1. She has done something about zero hunger. She has put a video, nice video about herself talking about this, this goal and how she can help the world to solve this problem. And I'm going to show this in a while. So this is what I have done with Buncee and Microsoft Teams. And also I really appreciate students' engagement. So some of my students and some of my teachers have really engaged with me. So they have put some examples of what they have already created on Buncee. So these are some examples of what other teachers have already done about Buncee. So I really appreciate that. So in this part, I'm going to reshare my screen. And going back to my presentation. I'm sorry for that. So going back to my presentation. So this is actually a part of my work to help other students to engage more using Buncee and Microsoft Teams. So now this is their turn. I want to say to them that this is your turn to unlock the power of creativity to start creating your own work. I don't leave this part without showing some, some amazing work done by my students. So this is a part of some of my students' work that I'm really very proud of. So they started introducing themselves. They started using Buncee, different templates, and I actually amazed of what they have done in a short time. And I believe that once we have the students the way to do, so they are going to complete and they are going to go on doing more things that may amaze us as teachers. And once they have shared their masterpieces to Microsoft team on their classes, I think that they can get now to know, to know each other. They can make friendships, they can communicate together, they can collaborate, they can leave comments, they can see each other's work, they can comment, they can think and reflect about others' work. So this is a part of my students' work. And actually, this is one of my students. Her name is Judy. This is the first product of her about Buncee. So I asked her to make all about me Buncee. So she started doing things like that. And after some time, I think that she has developed. So in the first model, she used one-page presentation, and afterwards, she started creating her own content, using more visual ideas and items. She extended and included different pages, as you see here, with different infos about herself, about her family, about her colleagues. And I think this is a really great example that shows that students can do, they can engage once we encourage them to do more and more. This is also another example of my students' work. And of course, we want to say thank you, every student. We want to encourage them, as you encourage them, they do more and more work. In this part, I have really recorded part of my meeting with my students, with the students, where the student here has started presenting her work. And actually, what after here is that students have to present their own work. They have to use the language. They have to be courageous enough to start doing. So I actually try to make like a morning class where the students are in there, they can hear each other's voice, they can present their work. So I'm going to click play.
My birthday is on 2nd August 2006. My favorite books is Harry Potter, The Cola Land, and Lord of Johnson.
So this is my student presenting her work.
Twilight series, Me Before You, and 5 Feet Apart. My favorite songs, What Makes You Beautiful, Fly Me to the Moon, Without Me, My Heart Will Go On.
So this is part of my student's presentation about her work using English. And I think that it gives them the ability to speak, to present themselves. So what I'm aiming to do is to develop their speaking skills, to develop their presentation skills. And actually, I think this is a part which is really important, which we call emotional and social education. So if we put students in one space where they can meet, they can communicate, they can show their work, they can hear each other's voice. So I am successful to to start establishing this kind of interaction between them. So this is also another part of students' work. This is actually another project done by my students about sustainable development goals here. This was really done in the last year, but when they started connecting me, when they started signing into Microsoft team and start joining my class, they said, why do we not document our work, our last year work? So they started putting everything in here and try to document their work, their project about sustainable development goals, where they have done a lot of workshops, they have done presentations, they have done some posters, and they have also visited a charity, because they were talking about the first goal, no poverty, and the second goal, zero hunger. So what they have already done in this project is that they have visited a charity in their district, where they have given away things that they don't need, so they can support their community by this way. So they find, after the training that I have made with them, that why we don't document our work, why don't we share our work more and more to the whole class, to the whole school, so they know that what we have already done. And this is actually done by Buncee and also have shared to Microsoft team. So I think that this makes more engagement of students into Microsoft team. And also they have used the Flipgrid tool I think the pictures can say what I want to say here. So this is screenshots of the flip grid where we have some responses from other students all around the world, in different countries about sustainable development goals, and they have already put here the link to their flip grid, and everything is in there in Buncee. So it was really amazing work of my students that I am really proud of. So once again, and after this work, I feel that more students, more teachers are now engaging in the work. And once we have just done trainings with teachers, which I have Ida in, and I'm really proud to have here there. Actually, many teachers, many students try to call me and ask me, how can I do this? How can I do that? So they started really engaging in the work and using Buncee and Microsoft Team as well. So I'm going to show you something here, which is really, really important, and that I feel. Okay, just a minute. So what we have already done here, I'm working on, the Ministry of Education live stream platform, where I am responsible of, making lessons or explaining lessons to students in the secondary stage. So I'm actually working with a group of teachers that they are my colleagues, where we, just a minute here, just it loads. In the calendar here, I want to show you something here. Yes, in that calendar, I'm going to show you part of our work where we use Buncee in live stream lessons, which is attended by a group of students, a big number of students, especially in the secondary stage, where the students have the ability to contact and share with us as teachers. So I'm going to show you something in here. Yes, that's it. So in this, I'm going to show you something here. This is a part of our live stream lessons. As I said to you, the Ministry of Education is or has issued this year, or before the last year, when the pandemic happened, when the coronavirus happened. So in our live stream lessons, we have used different templates of Buncee. So we have used Buncee templates to share certificates of appreciation, to say to students that they are really interesting, and I think that makes more students to engage in here. And as you see with the live stream, the students have the ability to share, to write their questions, and the moderator, the teachers can react, they can reply to them. So what makes students really engaging in these live stream lessons is the appreciation done by us as teachers, to make them engage more, so we want to say thank you to them by this way. And actually, in one part of this, this lesson, we have used also a Buncee template to share a translation lessons here, as you see here. So I think this makes students more engaging, and with the Buncee templates, with its visuality, all the visual infographics, the visual media that is in there in Buncee, I think students is really attracted by our lessons, so they can engage more, they can join our classes every day, every week. So a lot of students started to start to use what we call, Buncee templates. And at the end of the lesson, we had the habit to send all the lessons so the students can use all these, resources for them to learn. Okay, I'm going to close this. Okay, I'm gonna go to my presentation once more. So this is actually a screenshot of our live stream lessons in English done by the Ministry of Education, which we presented live, where students more are engaging, and we have used different Microsoft tool, but the most important thing is that we use Buncee platform with its templates to engage students more, to let them learn more and more, as you see here. This is another screenshot where we use the Buncee recognitions to say to students, excellent, you are well, you have done really great work. So the last part of my presentation that I want to highlight here is that we can add a Buncee as a tab in Microsoft Teams, and I think Ida has already shared this in the first session. So I think it's also a good feature. So you can put a tab, or you can put Buncee as a tab in Microsoft Teams. And once you have done that, in this way, you can see all the slides you have created by Buncee, and you can also add what we call questions to students to start answering them. So this way you can engage more students using Buncee, and also students can react to your questions. And once you have opened your Buncee here, you can see the comments or the answers to the questions that you have given to the students. So you can remark them, you can give them remarks to say that if they have done really well or not. So this is the last of my presentation, the end of my presentation. If you want to ask me questions, and I hope that my presentation is not long and beneficial to you, I hope that I have presented ideas that may inspire other teachers to use and, to take them into their classes and liven their process of teaching and the learning of students. So I would like to say thank you. And this is the end of my presentation, and I'm really happy to receive any question from you.
Hello, Ghada. Ida here.
Hello.
So I just wanted to, before we dive into the questions here, first of all, congratulate you. You really have a breadth of ideas, and I really was personally even inspired with your demonstration. So thank you so much. It was really impressive. That being said, you do have some questions. A lot of them we were able to actually go through in the chat itself. So I'm actually going to go through a few of them. So first of all, I think based on your experience with Microsoft Teams, somebody is interested to hear a little bit to see how we can manage virtual tours through Microsoft Teams, if you have any insight on that.
Yes, okay. So I'm going to share my screen once again.
Sure.
Okay. So if you go to your dashboard in here, and as I said before, excuse me. If I go to Buncee, so one of the features, one of the media that you can put in your Buncee is to insert the 360-degree images. So it's the way that you can make a virtual trip. And once you have done that with Buncee, so you can share this on your class team, so the students can do or see. Oops, sorry. So if I click on like a change a background, we want to change a background. If I can choose a color background, so it's clear like this page. So once I click on plus icon and create or choose the 360-degree images, So you will find here different images. For example, if you click like London, for example, if you want students to travel to London and see the landmarks there, so you can choose, for example, any picture that expresses an important landmark like the Tower Bridge in here, and you can click Add in here. So once you have done that, and click on Preview, so you can see the whole place in 360-degree images. So I click on Preview. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't title my. Okay, let's call it 360 London. Okay, so once I click on Preview, you will see the picture as if you are in the place. And what you can do very, very easily is to share your Buncee to a Microsoft team so the students can visit the place as if they are in London, they can learn. So once you click on Load Panorama, it will be loaded here. And you can also zoom in and out if you want to see the picture bigger or smaller. You can click on the full screen so you can see it like this. You just use your mouse to move in here. And once you have done that, you can share your work. Click on Share, Social, Microsoft Team. So you can share your work, like you want to call students to visit that place. So you can share this on your Microsoft Team class in a channel so the students can enter and see what you have already done for them. Is that good?
Was that good? It was more than good. Honestly,
Yes.
Thank you so much. You're getting more compliments than questions. So I think your explanations have been very thorough. That being said, we have a few last ones that I just wanted to run through. One is, I'm just gonna double check. Okay, so this one is while you're on the Buncee creation, if you don't mind just keeping it up. Or you can reshare your screen if you choose to. But one of the questions is, I would like to know about the certificate that you've given to your students in your examples. How did you make these certificates?
Yeah, that's really, really a part that I really like. So I'm going to go to my dashboard here once again. I'm going to show you one of the students. Yes, that's it. Like this one, Judy certificates. That girl that I really like. So once you go to your dashboard, I'm going to show you the example of my of the certificate that I have already done to say to my students, thank you. This is actually an example of what I have created using Buncee. I would like to say to her, congratulations, you have done a great work. You have the best to use Buncee, best Buncee for the week, and start unlocking the power of creativity. So once you go to your dashboard here, and you create a new Buncee, yes. So you will find in the template here, which is actually a very important feature in Buncee, you can use these kinds of templates, awards and recognition. So if you click on awards and recognition, you will find different templates of certificates that you can use, different templates more and more that you can customize as possible as you can. You can put the name of your students, you can say thank you for such a kind of achievement, and also you can put some stickers, some animation that to make it engaging, to make it interactive and attractive for the students to see. Like if I choose this one, for example, and you click on use this template, so you start typing in here. So everything is in very easy. You can write whatever you like. You can say congratulations. And to make it more lively, you can Like what I did, I have put some stickers, I have put some, you know, animations to say to my student, thank you. Okay. Yes, that's it here. If you click on the plus sign here and you choose, for example, animation, for example, here, thank you will have like this one. So you can click on that, add this. So you can create whatever you like and share this also to a Microsoft Team class where all students can see that you have appreciated, that you have congratulated other students for their great work. And that's it.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Ghada. That's great. So a lot of people are very interested to learn about certificates. And then just the
Yes.
last few questions here, because you are getting a lot more compliments and questions. So again, you're very thorough. So last few questions are actually just related to sharing. I think the way I would frame it is some folks are interested to learn about how do you implement self-study, perhaps using Buncee and Microsoft Teams here. I don't know if you have any experience with that to, you know, give them off self-study experiences
Yes.
using the tools.
Yes. Actually, what I have already done here, I'm going to show you a board that I have done where I have collected some of my lessons, some of lessons that may help students to self-learning. So this is a board which I call blended learning board here, where I put, this is actually a very good question because it reminds me to show this, really. So here I have put some lessons to students, so they start study by themselves. So here, for example, I'm going to show this example. Open it. So this is really an example of one of lessons with links, so the students can click on the link, they can self-study, they can study the lesson on their paces. So this is another way that I help students to engage more, to start studying them by themselves without depending on their teachers. So it's only loading here. I hope that it loads in a moment. Oh yeah, that's it. And also I think that the templates that is in there with Buncee, that it always inspires us with different ideas. So what I have already done here is to put links to all the lessons that the students can visit and start studying their lessons. And this is actually a collection of all live stream English lessons which we have designed, which we have already prepared. It's not my own work, it's also a work of a group of teachers, a group of colleagues that we work together on preparing lessons for students to be shared in the live stream Ministry of Education. And this is another example here. I'm going to close this. So in here, I have already given the students, let me choose another one here. Yes, that's it. I have given them also a lesson done by Buncee, where I have put some translation sentences, and I have used the features of the free response questions where the students can read the sentence and start translating it either into English or in Arabic, because it's a question in our exams. So what I have aimed to do is to use Buncee to help students learn more, engage, and start to learn by themselves, start to study by themselves. Especially we are in the process of remote learning and we don't meet our students. So what I have already done here is to create a Buncee where students can have some sentences to translate in here using one of the amazing Buncee templates. So the students can read the text here and they start typing the translation into English or in Arabic, as you see. So this translation is about peace. So there are many templates about peace here in Buncee, which is very nice. You can use it. So I recommend that you can start using it. Very nice. And I think it gives that touch of creativity to your lessons. And actually, I made this Buncee copyable. So if they start doing their work, they can reshare it to me so I can give them remarks using what we call the comments here. So I can leave comments like remarks for students after they have done their work.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. And then I'm just gonna touch on the last question here, just because it's a little more technical in nature. But so to clarify about the sharing of Buncees as well as into Microsoft Teams here. So in order for you to be able to view a Buncee, let's say that you decide to create, a group with your parents on Microsoft Teams or your classes, you'll of course be able to share it there, and that will be done virtually. But if you would like your users, or sorry, the people who should view your Buncee, they do not have to have a Buncee account. So let's say you decide to create your Buncee, share it to Microsoft Teams. Depending on the privacy setting that you yourself have selected for your Buncee, the viewers do not have to have a Buncee account for it. So that's really up to you. But yes, that is the last question that we're able to touch on. And then that being said, so thank you, Ghada, for such a wonderful session. It's really been very informative. I have to say so myself, because I've actually learned a lot from you and also about you in your classroom. So thank you so much for sharing with us. And so like I mentioned, I would just want to do a last share here. But before I do, I want to welcome our other moderator, Fairuz, as this is the last day for our entire week-long event. So Fairuz, I'd love for you to be able to share some other words before I go ahead and screen share here.
Great. So first of all, thank you so much, Ghada, for the wonderful presentation. And it's just great to see how you've integrated Buncee in Teams, especially for the certificates. I learned a lot from you as well. Yeah. And also for Ida, just, this is our last session together. Hopefully more collaborations in the future. And sure. It's been a wonderful collaboration between Microsoft Malaysia and Buncee. So thank you again. And to those who attended, we have almost 200 attendees today. So wow. Thank you so much for joining from not just from Malaysia, but from other countries as well. I think Ghada has a lot of fans. Yeah. And Ida too.
I'm really happy to hear that. And I hope, I hope that I have added something to other teachers all around the world. Really, it's my first experience to have a live session with Buncee. So I would like to say thank you, many thanks to Ida for her hard work throughout the whole week. I know that she has done a really great work. She is awake when we are asleep. So thank you for her. Thank you, Fairuz. It's very good experience to meet you. I really want to say I'm really excited to have such great friends like you.
Likewise. So we'll definitely keep in touch, and also not forgetting, special thanks to the Microsoft team. We have also Ija, my new colleague in Microsoft Malaysia, who's helping to support today's session, and to MOE Malaysia for supporting this event. And just a quick reminder to especially to the MIE or to our teachers in Malaysia. So I would highly encourage you to, get ready to nominate yourself. And for those who are already MIE experts, to renominate yourself as MIE experts for the next cohort, which will be in May. So stay tuned for the update from Microsoft on that. And please do go to Microsoft Educator Center and take some of the, the courses. There are 3 courses on Buncee and how you can use it on Teams. So please do that. And Yeah, and this was mentioned during the first day of the awareness week on Buncee and Teams, is for MIE experts Malaysia who will be accepted in the program for next cohort. You know, you would be able to use the premium access for Buncee soon, and further announcement will be made for you soon. So thank you so much, and I'll pass it back to you, Ida.
All right, well, thank you so much, Fairuz. And yes, thank you, Ghada, for such a wonderful presentation. Really, I want to just congratulate you on that. And so for our participants here, I'm just going to do my last official screen share of the week. But again, thank you for tuning in for the last 5 days. I hope this, entire series has been fruitful for you, especially as you look to start your school year, especially if you're in Malaysia where you're actually in session already. Kicking off the next school year here. But in any case, just as a quick reminder here, as Fairuz had mentioned, with the support from the Ministry of Education, just please know that you can actually access your Microsoft Teams account right from your Delima portal. So I just took a quick screenshot here for those of you that are educators in Malaysia. Please do log into your Delima account. You'll be able to immediately access your Microsoft Teams account from there. And so that's just a quick reminder. And in addition to that, please do know that all of these sessions have been recorded. So if you are from Delima or if you're from Malaysia logging into Delima, you'll also be able in the future to access all of these different sessions. So being able to replay Ghada's session as well as the other educator sessions from earlier this week, as I know we've had a lot of questions in the chat about the recordings for this. And so for those of you that are not from Malaysia, if you are interested to also replay any of these different sessions, you can also head to the Buncee YouTube channel where we will be uploading all of the recordings as well. So again, please do head to the Delima channel if this is related to you. And so that being said, so as we come to a close, I just wanted to do a last share here that as you learned a little bit about Buncee and Microsoft Teams, and we covered a lot of an overview and God had done an amazing job with it. But if you're looking to learn more about the specific features and how to use each of the different parts and a step-by-step sort of tutorial, you can actually log into any of our free weekly trainings that we do offer. So you'll be able to head right on my screen on bit.ly/Buncee training. All of those are free and held weekly, and those do a deep dive into the different features. And we actually cover how you actually can implement Buncee with your Microsoft Teams, especially if you're planning to use it for, implementing your assignments or sharing your activities to your students in a remote learning session. So you can head to those trainings in the future. But other than that, of course, like I mentioned, you'll be able to access any of our recordings on the Buncee YouTube channel. I've included our handle for you to access as well. But if you are interested to get connected with other amazing educators, just like Ghada, Go, as well as Victoria and Karina, who are the different presenters all throughout this week, you can also come into any of our Buncee Facebook educators group. We do have one actually dedicated to the Malaysia community, so feel free to join that, or you can also head to our main educators group, which is the Buncee educators group. So that being said, we've come to an official close here. So before I, last but not least here, if you are here, I just want to reshare the attendance form for tuning in today's live event. It's bit.ly/msbuncee5. Here you'll be able to enter your contact information. Please be sure to not have any typos or any typos in your email in particular as you enter this information, as you will not receive your certificate as a result. So carefully input your information into this attendance form, and you'll be able to receive your certificate within the next 24 hours, as well as your special extended access code to Buncee and the Buncee Challenge activity. And in a follow-up email that we'll be sending out next week, in addition to this information, we'll also be resharing any of the Microsoft education courses. So as Fairuz has mentioned, we want to be able to encourage you to take these courses and also apply to the MIE program, especially this upcoming school year. So as you take these courses, it'll be part of your requirement actually to be able to to apply. So I encourage you to dive in and take these lessons as well. That being said, thank you to everyone for tuning in, especially if you've tuned in for all of the 5 days for this week. We really appreciate you and also your time. So thank you again and have a wonderful rest of the week. And we hope to see you along your Buncee and Microsoft Teams journey. So have a great day. And so I'm going to leave my screen for a second, but if you have any questions, feel free to contact us otherwise.